Yep.
Biggest area of positivity for Trey Lance going into 2022.
I think that it's the positivity with Lance is his athleticism to be able to use his legs to make some additional plays. That's one. And scratch that. The biggest area of improvement, the biggest area of positivity for Lance is that he's going to take his willingness to make the throws down the field.
I like that.
Whether it's a completion or a pass interference, he'll take the shots down the field. They're not doing that currently.
Yeah, that's the right answer. It's the fact that he's going to expand the field from a tennis court to a football field. That's going to have a domino effect on the whole offense, right? It's going to give the underneath receivers more space to get open. It's going to give the running backs more space to run. It's going to back off the safety. Theoretically, it's going to make everyone's job easier theoretically.
Yeah, it'll put more pressure on the defense. We saw it.
Yeah.
We've seen it.
Defend the whole field. Not just this little bit.
You're gonna have to worry about that deep third and deep half and everything now with Lance.
I think another area of positivity. People think it's a lot of pressure on him to step into this team and replace Jimmy Garoppolo. That's one way to look at it because Jimmy's had so much success. But another way to look at it is like Jimmy has a very modest skill set physically, and the Niners have had a lot of success with him. I mean, he doesn't want to do play action. He doesn't want to throw deep. He doesn't move. He doesn't read the field that well. And all he does is win. I mean, he wins like 2/3 of his starts. And yeah, the Niners have had trouble with other quarterbacks besides him, but like they're not exactly Trey Lance. I mean, it's like Nick Mullins, CJ Beathard, Brian Hoyer, not the most physically gifted quarterbacks. If the Niners can have that much success with Jimmy, I mean, Trey, if he's not a total mirage with all those physical gifts and Trent Williams, Elijah Mitchell, Deebo Samuel, I mean, on and on and on. Kyle Shanahan, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. If Jimmy can do it, I think Trey should be pretty good as well. Unless he's like Deshaun Kaiser or something, and I just don't see it. But from what I saw in Houston in preseason and training camp, he's not Deshaun Kaiser. He's good, I think.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I feel like he should be able to go out and do the offense should not take a step back with Trey Lance at quarterback.
If the offense takes a step back, it shouldn't be because of the quarterback position. I'm going to put it that way.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. So,
well, and the other thing neither one of us talked about is I do think that there is some leadership stuff there with Trey Lance too. You know, even though he's had Jimmy Garoppolo around, he's never said a bad thing about him. He's never he's never led on like it's been an issue. And that speaks a lot to his character and probably the way that he's looked at it in the locker room as well.
And, he's gotten a up close look at someone everyone says is a top-notch leader, right? He sees how Jimmy Garoppolo comports himself, why everyone respects him, why he has such a large contingent of the locker room in his corner. He sees that. And I would imagine, I mean, I'll be in there. We'll see. I doubt he's competing with Jimmy at this point. He's hanging back, taking notes, working on his craft. And this year he'll probably incorporate a lot. I would imagine he'll probably incorporate a lot of Jimmy Garoppolo's leadership style into his own.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it would make sense for him to do that. If he's smart, he's a smart guy. It would make sense for him to do some of those things.
And he's talked that way too. Like he's one of my best. He's a friend for life. Really appreciate how he does business. Sorry, my screen keeps bouncing. The Niners are the Kardashians of the NFL. The Shanians. Kardashians in the NFL? No, because Brick by Brick is a boring television show, and they should put their stuff on E. If we could watch Training Camp on HBO, if they would do Hard Knocks, then yes. But until then, they're still acting like they don't want attention. Leave us alone. We don't want the drama. Then stop having a quarterback competition.
That's right. The 49ers are more
drama and have a quarterback competition.
The 49ers are more of a Discovery Channel show.
Why?
Well, because that does the Discovery Channel. That's where you have all like the building the houses and everything like that.
That's true. We're gonna try to make it work with two quarterbacks.
The fixer upper. Here we go.
Get it done. Well, we don't really have the budget for it, but let's just slash the offensive line. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's move on. Andrew says, so what are your predictions for the Niners regular season record? Oh, don't make me do that. Don't make me do that. I was feeling really negative this week, and I don't want to go there yet because maybe I'll feel positive next week. But hey, when does the schedule come out for real?
It should be coming out in April here. Usually it comes out before the draft. Usually, I think last year it came out right before the draft. I
Okay,
think they.
well, I'll make my official prediction that day when I see the sequence of the games, because all I know is, look, the NFC is terrible, and the Niners theoretically are one of the 4 or 5 best teams in the 3 or 4 best teams in the NFC, but they probably not going to win their division next year. They're probably going to be one of the 3 wild card teams. Weird things can happen. Their schedule is freaking brutal. And a lot of years, like, teams emerge that are good that you can't tell in April. So maybe there's a few teams in the NFC that we don't realize are going to be really good. Like, I don't even know. Like, someone in the NFC East or the NFC North or something. I don't even know. But all I know is the Niners schedule is freaking brutal.
Yeah, the good part about their schedules is they're pretty much on the western half of the United States for most of the year. But yeah, even those AFC West games are going to be tough.
I think you can go to the Niners schedule right now and look at and find 7 wins, probably. Like 7 games that they should for sure win. After that, they could win them, they could lose them. There's some tough freaking games on their schedule.
Yeah, it's definitely a rough schedule in terms of the opponents that they're facing.
Yeah. But again, players get hurt, teams get hurt. Like, what the Raiders will look like when the Niners face them is probably gonna be a lot different than what they look like on paper right now. I mean, that happens every year, right? So let's just see who's not on the injury report that week. It's kind of what football is. Let's see who's on the injury report that week before we.
Absolutely.
But I'll count. I'll say that they're going to be 5-12.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing too. Like what you just said right there, that makes sense. So, because if the 49ers hadn't played the Cardinals twice in the first half of the season, they might have beat them once last year because they were just so bad.
Exactly.
The second half of the year. So,
that's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Although they did get to face Colt McCoy at home. But I'm just saying, Keneal says Hard Knocks for this year would be lit, man. I wish. I know, but that I think if the Niners had, do you think our views would go up or down if they were on Hard Knocks? On the one hand, the Niners would be capitalizing on all their drama. On the other hand, they'd be bringing in new Niner fans that might want to watch us. I don't know.
I think it's better that they're not, because the only way that they get to see anything is through us.